Welcome, everyone. My name is Jeff St. Laurent, and as you can see, I have a fantastic guest today. Very excited to have her on. Let me bring her on in just a second. But before we get going with that, I do record all of my live shows. I put them on my university at sellingcoaching.com. I help coaches transition to a full-time business, and this is one of them. We're well on her way with some exciting news today. So check out what I have at sellingcoaching.com in my university, and you can start right off on the homepage if you enter your name and email. That not only gets you my audio resource, which is launching your coaching business, the first 3 vital steps, but that also puts you in my email community so you can get great information from me on a weekly basis, stay up to date on what I'm doing, and learn as you go full time, which now I'd love to officially introduce my great mentor coaching client, Licia Thompson. Welcome to the live show. Are you there? We're having some internet issues, so I don't know how this will work out. But right now, at least on my end, she's frozen. So I will talk until she comes back on and see how this works out. But I wanted to congratulate her because she, what do I have in my hand, has her book, which I just got in the mail a couple weeks ago before I got her on here. So you just launched this. So When Your Soul Whispers, Strategies for Leaders to Redefine Values and Move Forward After Life's Transitions. So it's a quick read. It's a great book. I just got it, and I'm so proud of her. And she is officially frozen this whole time. So I don't know if this is going to work. We might have to redo this again. Wait, she came in. And another.
Yeah.
Are you there?
I'm in.
Okay, so I was just talking while you were frozen. And I introduced you and I said, welcome. And I told everyone about your awesome book.
And I was frozen the whole time. Oh no.
You're frozen.
My screen went black, so I don't know what happened, but I'm back. And
yes.
Thank you for the introduction, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, and this is a good example of, listen, we just roll and whatever happens, happens, right? So, Licia, obviously you wrote the book. Huge congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
How does it feel being an author?
It was a lot of work, I'll say. And initially, when I began trying to decide the chapters and the titles and what I wanted to include, it was a bit overwhelming.
We're frozen again.
Okay, are we back?
I think we're back now.
Looks like we're back.
Yeah.
So as I was stating, it was amazing the day that I opened my front door and the box with my books, my first order, was there. And when I began to open it, I just felt this emotion of gratitude, I would say, in that it was the finished product and, you know, it was sitting on my doorstep. So it's been an amazing, enlightening journey. I'm truly grateful, though, for the opportunity to bring it to life.
Yeah. And it's just like just from a little comment I think we made, like when we started working together, to like, I think I'm going to write a book, to grinding it out.
Yeah.
What was the time frame from like comment to like book in your hand? Do you know roughly?
Yeah. So it went pretty fast. You mentioned that. I want to say it was around this time, maybe November-ish, even a year ago. And I remember kind of looking at you when you said, I think next for you is to write a book. And I just thought, because I've known since I was 12, 6th grade, that I wanted to go to college, get a degree in journalism. I wanted to write, but I had not done so in many years other than business writing. I'd kind of gotten away from creative writing just because of my career path. And so I've always had that in the back of my mind that I want to be a published writer. But when you mentioned it, I hadn't thought about it in years. So I didn't say anything, and I just heard you and made a mental note. And then in January, I received just an amazing opportunity. I found someone by happenstance, although I don't believe, in just random occurrences. I think things happen in a line because the purpose is greater. But I happened to meet someone who I ended up working with to get this done. So I started in February and published, went through the final phases of it, I guess around, let's say August, launched it, actually launched August 19th. So I began in February, worked with an amazing editor. I wrote day and night, late nights, just because I went with it, like when I was in the flow. So it sometimes continued for hours and then other days, not at all. So yeah, got it done.
So 7 months, it sounds like, from like actually when you started writing till actually having the book in your hands.
Yeah.
Talk about, because go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Because you went through my 14-day GoPro challenge, and then we worked together in our 5-month program. Right. Talk about kind of where you are, in that, when we started working together in the group, in terms of your business, where you're at, because you just started off. This isn't something like you've been, so this is like, you hadn't been doing your business for a while. Like you just started off, we worked together 5 months. And then I think a couple months after we ended the group is when you really committed to writing that book in February. Talk about kind of like where you were in your business as we started working together, and kind of the evolution that led you to this space.
Yeah. So when I met you, I knew who you were because of IPEC, of course. But when we started working together, I was brand new. So meaning I left a corporate career on purpose, by choice, went through the IPEC training program. My intent was then to become self-employed, which was at that time overwhelming because I thought, I don't know how to find people who want to work with me. I wasn't even clear on my niche, to be quite honest. At that point, I kind of struggled with that a little bit, which even carried over to the beginning part, first quarter of this year. But when I finally got clarity, it was interesting to me because I wanted to align what I do and how I serve now with my career path, which was in the workers' comp industry, 22 years to be exact, as a leader. But I had difficulty trying to figure out how to reappear to those folks in a different capacity. And so I used a lot of different words, but finally settled on reinvention because I have reinvented myself in different phases of my life, personally and professionally. So it finally became clear to me that I was overcomplicating this whole process of niching down. I stay in my lane and work with others in the ways that I know intimately, because it worked for me to choose to be self-employed, was a life change. And basically aligning values with goals is what has occurred for me in many facets of life. So reinvention is what I've done. I wouldn't have said that then. I just thought, I think we do what we are purposed to do at any given time in life. But to put a word with it, it finally dawned on me that reinvention is what that is. And so again, coming from the work comp industry, it's a complicated industry, statutory regulations. You're dealing with people's lives who are sometimes hurt and unable to work because of the injury. So there are a lot of emotions around that. So reinventing to come back from those phases of life can be a challenge for most injuries, depending on the severity of injury. So yeah, so that's where it all comes from.
And that took a little bit to develop. I don't remember how far into our program, but that you understand, really grasping and holding on to that message that you so clearly articulated right there. And it was right in front of us, right? You know what I mean? But it was
right.
All of a sudden, I don't remember. I remember the session. I don't remember the date or whatever. Remember you were like, oh my God. It's like, I think we figured this out, and that got you to this space where you really embraced, who your audience was and what you were helping them with.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah. I
really cool.
finally got there, but I still didn't know what to call it. And so that came into even this year. Still, I changed it a couple times to
Of
be
course, right?
honest, because a name transition, but people were coming to me about their careers. And so then I realized that's not the right word still, because not working with people to help with a career transition at all, although the mindset about making the change may come up with my clients, but that's not my overarching focus. So that change happened in January, I would say, and I started testing reinvention to see how that people, how it resonated. Figured out that works. So yeah, it's all a process though, and you're right. Coming out of IPAC, eyes wide open, you're ready to just jump in, and you don't quite know where you fit in yet. Some people might. I struggled with it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but it's a good struggle. It was a good struggle.
Yeah, definitely. What have you seen like over the last almost year, since we've worked together and now with your book out, um, what it, what do you feel you've learned the most in terms of like the realities of actually doing the work in your business? For those coaches
Yeah.
watching now, it's just like, all right, you've been doing this for a year, let's call it, you know, you've got your book out, you've launched the course when we worked together, you know what I mean? Like you've done marketing. So
Yeah.
what is the realities of the day-to-day business that you've seen having done what you've done so far?
Yeah, I would say tenacity for me was the big overarching um, desire. So in other words, for me, though I knew I was struggling with naming my niche, I still worked every day doing what I thought would advance me, because I know from my career prior to this that taking a step forward each day, it doesn't have to be this huge step, but if you keep working toward your goal, clarity starts.
I think we lost you again. At least I lost you. Like I think where you're coming from is that tenacity of gaining clarity, but you don't necessarily have clarity before you move forward. And sometimes, or oftentimes, we like to think that we have clarity and then we take action. And sometimes, at least I found in this business, that the clarity comes after we start taking action, right? It doesn't mean we're approaching it blindly, with like no clue or clarity at all. But we've got just enough to get just enough information to start moving forward. And I think that's what I've seen with you is that tenacity. She left. She's probably going to jump back in. But I've seen with her is this tenacity where she, there were times where she didn't know what she was doing. And I told her the way, right? And I would guide her as a mentor coach, right? I would say like, all right, here are the steps. But oftentimes, even when you have the steps in front of you, it's a little bit unclear in terms of like of how it's going to work for you and what it's going to feel like. And I think that's where she's coming from. Welcome back again. I was just, hey, we make do with what we have. And I think this is kind of like, I don't know the right word, appropriate
Oh,
that this is happening now, because like I was saying, like, at least from where we clipped off is, you had that tenacity, but you didn't always have the clarity when you took
right,
action, right? The clarity
right.
came after you took action. And
Yes.
and I think
You have to be
a lot of
willing to
coaches,
keep,
yeah. And
I'm
I think a lot
sorry.
of people
Yeah.
think like, oh, I've got to get clarity first. And
No.
yes, if you can, but that's
Right.
often in this world of entrepreneurship, that's not how it happens typically.
Right. Right. You just have to remain inquisitive, I think, and ask questions, and then do a lot of soul searching and figure out, how you want to show up, and then reserve the right to edit along the way. So, even though we're moving forward, sometimes different thoughts arise, or you just learn from watching others and asking questions. And
Mhm.
I think I will forever be the person who is a continual learner. because that hypes me up just to continue to grow, mentally stronger. Is just, for me, that's just how I'm made, I guess. So yeah, but yeah, you have to be brave enough to be okay taking the first few steps and knowing that they may or may not be the best steps, but you learn from moving forward anyway. So I don't call it a negative or a mistake, or a mistake at all. It's just an opportunity to get more clear and
Yes,
keep
that's
moving.
exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that the book is out, what are your plans on how to get this in front of more people? I'm
Yeah.
curious.
So yeah, so it's a good question. What I have done since the launch, I started with pre-launch actually. I said August 19th, but that was the pre-sale of the launch. And then the launch actually was in September. So it's been just slightly over a month, but I'm selling these books from my personal website on purpose because I want to also obtain email addresses so that I can keep in touch with the people who have my book. So the vision behind this is to have businesses. So the book could be a standalone for public speaking, and some other options there, but also it was written in a way to accompany my coaching practice. And so some people aren't ready for one-to-one coaching because of the expense. They don't know us in some cases, right? I want to continue to grow globally. So sometimes I don't know people. They need to get to know me better, to build a know, like, and trust factor. But investing in a book that's $19.97, most people don't mind doing that. So they can get to know me by the way that I've written the book as well. And then from there, we can create conversation, my hope is, and then kind of build a relationship. At some point, they may or may not want one-to-one coaching or even a group, but I have other options. I've built other programs in place that are small ticket.
Oh, she's starting to freeze again. Damn. So yes, and that's what it's really cool listening to her. So for the people watching this is, and Licia, I think,
and
there you are.
Just one. I thought we were gonna.
No, you froze again. Oh, so I think what's cool about what I'm hearing from her is that she understands the mechanics of how business happens. Like she's saying, like, I want to send people on my website, so she has lead capture. So not only they get to buy the book, but then she gets their email addresses and it builds back into her email community. And there she is again.
Man, this is tough today.
It's tough today. This is the hard work we got to deal with as coaches, right? So right. I was just kind of summarizing like kind of what you were saying before you went out. And what's really cool, Licia, though, is that you understand how business works or how this business works, from the lead capture to the following up to, they could go this way into, group programs or one-on-one or the lower ticket items that you have. You have those structures set up in your business now, which it's so good to hear you. Like you understand it, you get it.
Well, I learned a lot of this from you, from that course, because I remember you and I talked about Aweber versus MailChimp, and we had several conversations back and forth, and I had already chosen MailChimp before connecting with you and kind of started building, but you kind of suggested, I believe it was weekly, to send out an email to the people, and I struggled. You may remember I struggled with that because I thought, I can't write this content. I don't know. That was still kind of early for me in the process. And it was because I hadn't solidified who my target audience would be. But once I got that clarity, it has been a lot easier. But so I knew that I needed to build the email and all of that. You had focused on that during the course that I took with you. So that makes total sense. But so I am on Amazon now, though. But I did take about a month, maybe a little past a month, just telling people they could buy it directly from me. And I'm still wanting to do that, but I also want to reach a broader audience of people that I don't know. So it is available in ebook and paperback on Amazon just as of a week or so ago. So I'm kind of excited about that too. So yeah, so it has led to I'm working with the book club on this Friday. The book club purchased the book, and so I'm going to be with them to talk about, you know, whatever insight they gained, or I'm just going to be there, I guess. I'll figure it out kind of on the fly, but to just be with a group of people who purchased the book as a part of their book club is pretty exciting to me. So yeah, so I'm just hoping for all kinds of opportunities. I'm open and available to just new thoughts, new opportunities always, which I think is a part of what we do, right? We're always ready.
Yeah. And if someone wants to get a copy of this book, how can they do that?
Thank you. So reach out to me at Licia, Licia, at LiciaThompson.com is my email, or my website, www.LiciaThompson.com, or I'm on Instagram as Licia, the Reinvention Strategist, and I'm also on LinkedIn as Licia Thompson. So any of those are great options. And I'd be happy.
Check out our website. You did a great job on your website too.
Thank you. So another iPecker built that for me.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yes.
Very good. So Licia, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Again, huge congratulations on the book. I wish you nothing but success.
Thanks.
And I'm looking forward to staying connected over the years as this
for sure.
starts to unfold.